Spire's End, a choose-your-own-path card game. One of my favorite board game / card choose-your-own-adventure games that is on the market right now. My friends, today, I'm going to tell you all about it. We're going to talk about it, and we're going to play it a little bit. Yeah, and I'm really excited, actually, to do it. So, let's break it down. Well, hi, hello, everybody. My name is Turk. Welcome back to the Grouch Couch. Around here, we do all different kinds of solo RPG things, but that's right. Today, we're talking about Spire's End. And this is really fun, too, because this is Volume 2, which actually just released relatively recently. I have a little bit of experience with Volume 1. I actually had a friend who had it, and I played it a little bit. So I don't have Volume 1 to show off today, but I have played it just a little bit. And on top of Volume 1 and 2, Favreau, the creator of this, has actually made two other different themey kind of games in the same vein here that I actually haven't played myself, but they look really, really good. If Editing Turkey later remembers, he'll put them on the screen. But fun story, this actually released and I really wanted it and I was actually saving to get it. But I was like, hey, maybe I'll just message Favreau and see if they would send me a review copy for the channel. And they absolutely did. So I'm very excited to be able to cover it today. Very, very nice person who developed this. From my understanding, it is just one dude in his garage making games kind of by himself. So I think it's really cool to be able to support an indie developer like this and play something that is really, really cool. This game is awesome. I don't want to underplay it. So, thank you again to Favreau for sending me a copy to be able to play here on the channel. And I want to drive home that even though they sent me this, all my opinions and thoughts on this game remain my own. Whenever I get really, really excited about a game, I mean, my excitement is pretty much all over the place all the time. But I always want to drive home that my opinions are my own, all right? And my opinions get to remain my own from those of you who actually have been supporting the channel. My channel members and Ko-Fi supporters. Thank you guys for supporting the show, right? Because of you guys, we get to remain authentic around here. So thank you so much for supporting the show. I really do appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. Now, without any other further ado, we're going to get into this thing. But what are we doing today exactly, you say there, Turkey? Well, I'm going to do a little bit of a pseudo unboxing. I've already played it, so it's not a full unboxing experience, but I'm also going to do a little bit of a review talking about it, all right, before we play the game, because this is a choose your own path adventure card game, so there will be a little bit of spoilers here for the beginning of the game, but we're going to do that after the review, okay? So if you are worried about those spoilers, have no fear. But the how to play section of this game kind of works in you learn by playing, all right? So you might get a little bit of spoilers learning how to play. If you want to know how it works, watching through the little bit of the video, all right? Just know that. But we are going to do a review bit first. So this should be the point where we cut over to the other guy who's already done the actual play, who's going to be talking about it some more and reviewing it for you. Good luck, future me. Okay, it's time for review section. Are you serious? Are you? Oh, yes, this is me from the future. I have already played through a good little section of this here game, and I'm here to talk about it to you. We have a few marks that I want to cover. First of all, the art on the cards and of this game is fantastic. It is themey. It is immersive. The dialogue on the cards and the story is fun. A lot of it's in that southern twang that, again, is very immersive. The introduction of the characters makes you actually get to know these characters a little bit and actually, care about them a little bit, which I think is hard to do in a game like this. Our friends at Favreau are good story writers and must have experience in this because they have achieved something. I actually kind of feel like I understand these characters a little bit and I'm barely even into this story, right? Very cool. So story and art, very good. Second thing, the tactile nature of everything. The cards, the dice, the little bits, the pieces, all right? Sometimes in these adventure games, you're going to get games that include way too much. They just think that this is something they need to do and they include hundreds of little pieces and all that crap just be annoying to me. What I find with Spire's End, and it was the same for the first one, there is enough. There is a good amount that isn't too overwhelming. You got 2 sets of dice, right? You've got HP and armor pieces. You know what I mean? You've got little extras and that's it, right? It's very good. It's a good amount that is immersive and enjoyable. And I like that a lot. Lastly, we're going to talk about mechanics here. There is a learning curve to it. Once you understand how combat works, you're going to get it and it's going to be fun. But It is not easy. This game, much like games in a similar vein, has hardcore resource management, dealing with your HP and your AP, all of your companions that are going to follow you. Whenever you do dice rolls, you can finesse the dice. You got to choose which dice you want to keep and what abilities you want to use. There is resource management when it comes to combat, which is a positive because you're going to learn. There is a learning curve, which means you're going to learn how to maximize your effort as you play this game. Because fourthly, seventhly, this game is replayable, right? All these choose your own adventure games are replayable. Even in my playthrough, I'm only a little ways in and it's like, if you have this card, move to this card. I'm like, what? I already missed something? Yeah, because you're going to have multiple chances to get stuff. There's a lot included in one single card and you're going to be skipping cards and going to other cards and stuff. It has a big replay value to it, right? So you're going to get way more than one full session out of this thing. And when I say full session, I mean, you're going to come back to it 3 or 4 times before you even finish the story the first time. And then after a couple months, when you forget, you can come back, you can play it again, and you're going to get different results than you did the first time, right? Very cool stuff. Advantages and disadvantages and what have you. And that, I think, is my full little thoughts on this. I don't ever consider myself a reviewer. I just hope to tell you my feelings on something, and then you can make your own decisions, all right? And those are my feelings about this game. It's very good, all right? I think, actually, I have on my website a thing called Turk's Top 5, and this is going to go on my Turk's Top 5 board game. It's going to knock another one off. I'm not going to mention which one because it's disrespectful, but it's going to go on my Turk's Top 5. Spire's End is on Turk's Top 5. You can check out the whole list of all my top 5s on the website, all right? Including solo RPGs, solo tools, solo board games, etc. This is going on there. Sick. Okay, back to Past Turkey to play it for you, all right? Very good. All right, hi, welcome back. I hope that went well. I don't know, hasn't happened yet. So let's get over to the top-down camera. Let's open this up and then we'll show you what it has to offer, all right? Cool, here is Spire's End, all right? And again, I have already opened it up. I've already been playing it because I was really excited about it, okay? And a lot of this I'm gonna have to be playing off camera because a lot of it is spoilery. But what I will say is if you guys want me to do a full play of this thing, make sure to leave a like on this video, all right? Like goal is 200. We get 200 likes. We will do a full actual play of the whole story 1, okay? So leave a like if you want to see that. But for today's video, we're just going to play through the first few scenarios, as best that we can with the time that we have, all right? That's the whole box. We're going to open it up. Of course, it comes with a how to play booklet. This booklet's it really doesn't have a lot in it because you do learn by playing in this game, but it does have examples for the rules. Now, your box, don't worry, won't come as messy as mine. Everything's going to come in awesome little packaging, all right, little plastic bits for you to take apart and everything else, all right? So don't got to worry about that. I've just already been playing mine, and as you've seen, I was just spinning it around, so that's going to happen. And I'm sure I covered a little bit of this in the review, all right, but we've got our D6s. Each one of these is actually themey to this game. I love a good theme and a color scheme in a game, and this one, black, red, and yellow, straight up, and I love it. It's very immersive. It's very cool. We're going to get all of our little mini pieces. These are going to help us track our abilities and our health. This game also comes with its own set of funky dice, and I love a good set of funky dice. I am a dice goblin, all right? These red dice right here for your allies, your companions that are going to follow you in the game, and the yellow ones are for our main character. And you need the dice to play this game, and everything you need to play this game comes in this box, okay? I don't know if I probably should drive home in the review that you can play episode 2 without ever having touched episode 1. You absolutely can. Just take a look at the characters, and I think decide whichever character you're more interested in. That's what I would do. Okay, we're gonna pull all of our cards out here. I'm gonna reorganize them a little bit because I did already play a little bit, okay? Let's do that now. I'll make it look all pretty. Be back in a sec. Okay, now when you first start playing, this is what your table's gonna look like, right? You're just gonna set your cards out. That's really all you need to do. And this game, as I said a little bit at the top, you learn by playing in this game. And I really appreciate that because I am a person that learns best by doing, okay? If I read full blocks of text, I just kind of forget. You guys know that. If you've been following the channel long enough, it'll make me have to reread. I learn best by doing, okay? When I need a rule, that's when I go and check a rule. And then after I do it, I remember it, right? And that's kind of the way this game works. When you're set up like this, you're going to flip open your first page. You're going to get a little bit of an intro about the world, okay? And then we're going to it goes right into gameplay. So this is where a little bit of spoilers are going to happen, but if you want to know how to play the game, you can hang out here with me for a little bit, watch for a few minutes, right? And once we get to a point you're uncomfortable with, then you could go to the end timestamp if you want to, and finish off the video from there, okay? That's my suggestion. But we're going to go ahead and get started now. Warnings from afar. A century of warnings from beyond this world came to a head late last night. I am no seer, but I share their curse of immortality. I know them, and I heed their warnings. An acquaintance from the dust drifts told me in passing, a spire would rise from the soil of Seacrest with questionable motivations. It was strongly recommended I return and recruit others to help. Furthermore, I was assured that other greater plans were already in motion to make things right. Plans that would unfold in concert with my own should I decide to play my role. This morning, as I make my way through the hushed bends into Orchard Valley, I receive word that the Spire has risen. I travel with a sordid group of down-on-their-luck travelers, but I know my company is not yet complete. What awaits me, I do not know, nor do those who come with me. The account of Morwen Whitelock has been transcribed into the private records of the Seer's residency at Dust Drifts. That is our introduction. A little bit mysterious, a little bit fun. Ooh. Okay, then you're going to get to this Let's Begin page. And literally, when it says Let's Begin, it tells you to just pull the first card and do what it says. And as you're these are the main story cards here. These are all your little ally cards. You're going to be going through these and pulling out things specifically when it tells you. And the fun thing is that they're all marked. See, we have ally right there at the top. Come over here, we have duster over here. We have stuff like that. So, and my suggestion, keep everything face down as best you can. Try not to read anything that isn't pertinent to what is happening in that exact moment, all right? But it does tell you about the card types a little bit in here. If you want to read through the rules a little bit, right, you can go on ahead and do that. It does talk about our first character over here, and you're like, well, we don't even have a first character yet. It hasn't told us to do that. Right, well, it will when we pull our first card. So let's go on ahead and do that now, all right? And all of these cards are marked. We can see right here at the bottom, episode number 1, right? Episode 1, card 1, right? And it goes to card 2 and card 3. And at times it's going to tell us to go to different cards. And that means that the cards that we skip are just cards that have not come into play in our game. We're going to put them to the side. We may never see those cards in our first playthrough. That's what's fun about this, is you can actually do multiple playthroughs and make different choices. And I think that that's very cool, which in classic choose your own adventure kind of style, right? But this one's a little bit more fun because it's cards and it's dice, and I just prefer card choose your own adventures over regular choose your own adventure games. Okay. They come in like books, Anyways, let's go on ahead and flip our first card. Here we are. And when I did this myself, I like to do voices. I tried to do voices when I was playing through it the first time, and it gets a little confusing as to who is talking in the moment whenever you're reading. It becomes a little bit more obvious afterwards. So I'm not going to do a lot of voices in today's video. I might do a little bit. This game is also, the characters seem to have a southern twang to them. At least that's my impression. And I'm really good at southern twang voices, but I keep going on tangents. Let's continue. The irritations of the city drove me away long ago. I left Seacrest after the bad Baroness came to power and moved to Orchard Valley, where it's nice and quiet. I've built a solitary life here, split in time between the orchards and the hives. The bees make fine company. Unlike people, they mind their own and keep busy. My time's been well spent, and for the most part, I'm content. However, unlike my nectar farmers, my bladder hasn't been near as cooperative lately. I was forced to make a third trip to the outhouse last evening when the ground began to shake. Earthquakes in these parts are rare, but not unheard of. Still, the time's odd, with the crimson eclipse having begun only hours before. I was too tired to give it much thought. I finished my business and headed back to bed. Then it tells us right here, pull Finian from the alley deck, collect 1 bee and 1 pollen. And then at the bottom it says reveal card number 2. So we just move right on. But we need to reveal Finian from our ally deck and get our little character set up. So we can see the little hooks are our allies. So we're just going to grab those. We're going to flip them over and do your best not to look at the characters until you find the one that you need to keep surprises for later, you guys. So we've got Finian right here. He's our beekeeper character, which is our main character for this campaign. When I first learned that it was going to be a beekeeper, I was a little bit thrown off. I was like, a beekeeper? But the mechanics actually are fun, right? So even though their main, personality bit is that they keep bees, the mechanics are just fun and they kind of make up for it. So I want to give you guys a good look at this awesome artwork before I put it down on the table, because there is a glare from my light on these awesome glossy cards. This is Finian Vale. At the top here, we can see their HP and our defense. So we're going to get those out in a sec. We could also see their abilities at the bottom, which we'll talk about more once we go into combat, all right? Right here is where Finian is going to sit, right there. Now we get one bee and we get one pollen. We don't know what those do yet, but I'll explain once we get into combat a little bit. Okay, I also, right away, if you read through the setup here on this page, it actually has Finian's setup, and it tells you to get out the bee and the pollen, and then it talks about their dice combinations and other kinds of stuff. But I learn best by doing, so we're just going to do it one step at a time, and we're going to get out his HP, which is going to be marked by these little red blocks here. We've got 5 HP, and then we've got 3 defense. And when an enemy attacks us, they always take our defense first. But whenever we recover, because we recover at the end of every round, we recoup is what it is. We have a recoup right here of 4. We only recoup our HP. We don't recoup our armor, all right? So it's a fun little mechanic. In this game, I probably talked about it in the review section, but the resource management is top tier in this game, all right? Cool, so we've got Finian out. We've got our 2B things. This is card 1 done. So we're gonna set it right down here. Then we're gonna flip card 2. Critters. After my morning honey and toast, I sling the master hive on my back and I get back to work. The sky smeared in a milky red hue lingering from the last night's eclipse. It'll hang near a week, casting a warm red glow until it finally fades. I walk through the orchard, same as I do each morning, to the apiary. What I find is dang distressing. From what I can tell, last night's quake knocked over a section of hives, or some critter got to them. Hard to say without a closer look. Did I forget to set those traps? Hell if I can remember. I crouched down, searching for paw prints, anything that might clue to me as to what happened. Sure enough, there's tracks. And now we have our first set of options. We can either go to card 3 to check the traps, or we can go to card 4 to tend to the mess first, right? So all of the mess that's happening in our area, everything like that. Or we can just go right and check the traps for critters. What do you think we should do? And then I wait a few seconds like it's Dora Explorer or something. No, we're gonna go ahead and move on. Okay, for this first one, I pulled card number 3 last time, so we're gonna go ahead and just do the same thing. All right, just to continue my story so I don't get any spoileries for any other path that might happen. We're gonna take the exact path that I did the first time. This is Trapped. And if you look at the card, we have a little paw up here, which is going to be important in a minute, all right? A creek crawls around the north side of the apiary. Just totally different voices for every card is what I should do. Ills beyond. Most trouble comes from there, so I set the traps on this side. The paw prints look to belong to some small brown bear. Round here, we call them sweet claws. At the traps, I find 2 of the 3 have snapped shut, with little to show for it. I don't expect to find the culprit. The traps aren't near big enough to snare a sweet claw and keep it. I reset the traps and I'm about to leave when I'm disrupted yet again, in ways I could have never imagined. And it says retrieve milestone card number 1, and then we have our wildlife thing, which we'll get to in a second. Now, these are little cards, which are much like the alley cards, which are they all have different numbers and they're all different things. I just keep them stacked to save room on my table. But in here, we also have the milestone cards, which start in the black ones, and it tells us to retrieve the first one. So we're gonna go on ahead and do that. And then we're just gonna put these back. Milestone number 1, trap set. I'm getting more forgetful as I creep toward my golden years. These traps need a check-in every morning. We can discard this milestone card when instructed to, or at the end of episode 1. So we've got our first milestone. We'll leave it right there. Now, we have wildlife. Whenever the paw icon that I talked about earlier appears, pull a random wildlife card. However, if Finian is the only ally present, pull a minor needlegrass nibbler instead. For this first needlegrass nibbler, also pull card 101 as well. So it's telling us to go way far in this deck and pull card 101, which we're going to do now. So you can see at the bottom, again, they're all numbered. So all the way towards the back, we've got card 101 right here. We'll pull that out. And then for time's sake, let's also go to our wildlife cards and let's pull out our minor needlegrass nibbler. And the first time I played through this, I pulled out the regular needlegrass nibbler, which is meant to when you have a full party, and I died the first time. So whenever you do this, there is a minor in parenthesis right here, right? Minor needlegrass nibbler. And they are not as strong as the regular needlegrass nibblers, okay? These guys are tough, all right? They attack 3 times. It's tough. We'll get to what that means later, but we're pulling out the minor one. Okay, so there was a minor needlegrass nibbler that came out of nowhere when we were checking the traps. So now we've got all these right here. Nibblers may be cute, but they're a loyal bunch and can become mighty dangerous if pushed too far. Folks say there's a big one out there, a stronger nibbler that don't take kindly to anyone bothering its kin. If you ever defeat 4 or more nibblers during your journey, finish that nibbler encounter, then follow the instructions below. Nibbler throwdown. We roll 1d10. Well, we'll get to that if we ever do that. Once we kill our 4th nibbler, we get to do the thing on discard, all right? So we got to remember that we have it. Now, we have the Needlegrass Nibbler, so we're going to go into combat. Now, in this book, go ahead and put all this back over here. We've already set up everything for Finny and Ash. It also teaches us a little bit about accuracy and everything else, which we'll get to during our play, because again, I do better learning by playing. So we're going to flip over this card here, and it tells us more about initiative and hive actions and everything else, because the next page is an encounter, because that's what happens in the story. It kind of like this book follows what happens one by one as you pull the cards. But you can read through the full first if you want. It's up to you. So it talks all about turns and everything else. Here's the way that things go, all right? Finian's gonna go first, pretty much. Then our allies can go, and then the enemy goes. And then we have our recoup round, and then it starts over, pretty much every time. Important things to remember, on our enemy card, we have their health, we have their defense. Remember, their defense goes down first, and then their health starts going down, all right? So we need to do 7 damage in total. Some monsters are gonna have a recoup, where they will actually recoup armor. So you're gonna have to get past that armor each round and deal damage. It can be tough. But importantly, on their turn, enemies have an attack number. Thankfully, this minor Needlegrass Nibbler only has 1 single attack. Thankfully, their ferocity is what you're going to add. Ferocity is what you're going to add. Ferocity is what you're going to add to their D20 roll, right? So like a D20 plus 1 or whatever. Whatever that number lands on is how much damage they're going to do, right? So if we get a nat 20 with this Needlegrass Nibbler, he'll do 3 whole damage to us, right? It's important to remember. Now, if there are other nibblers present, this specific nibbler will get 1 AP at the end of each round. Like I said, that's kind of their recoup ability, right? So the goal here is to take out this Needlegrass Nibbler, but it's our turn first. So what do we do on our turn, you say there, Turkey? Well, every round we have our little 5 dice here, all right? Each dice represents something different. And there are multiple different dice combinations that you can roll, but more importantly than that, our sickle right here will deal 1 damage. We have 2 sickles and 2 hands, so we can do 2 sickle attacks at once, all right? Whenever we hit a hive, we can activate a bee. Or when we hit a hive, we can activate a pollen, right? We can do multiple bees, we can do multiple pollens, but we have to get a hive to be able to activate the dice versions of these things, okay? So in a perfect world, we're gonna roll 2 sickles, a hive, and 2 bees. And when that happens, we're going to deal a total of 4 damage. And every time we get a successful attack, we can activate an additional bee token that we might have in our inventory. We're going to think about this as our hive inventory, right? So we can activate that bee token. If we don't want to activate these bees, and we roll a bee, instead, we just get more bee tokens, all right? So let's say we don't get a bee token, or we don't get a hive there. We can actually say that it's like this. That just means we get 2 extra bee tokens, right? But we can still put a bee on this, and then we'll get 2 back, right? Fun stuff. And it explains all that in these extra little combinations down here, right? So we have our little hive dice sides, right? So sickle does 1 damage. We can gain 1 bee if we get a bee. We can gain 1 pollen if we get a pollen. But if we get a hive and a bee, we can actually add 1 damage. If we get a hive and a pollen, we can add 1 HP, all right? And each hive can go up to 4 deployment at a time for each thing. And there are some fun little combination examples down here at the bottom. This is the most complicated part of this game, right? Is your combos, all right? Your combinations here and what each dice does. Once you understand this part, you're gonna understand the whole game. You're gonna get through it, all right? Truthfully, this is the most complicated part. And I remember it was like this with the other game too. But once you get it, it's super easy. So if you're struggling with that and you get this game, just read through this section a couple of times, all right? And then it'll start to make more sense to you, okay? Okay, and the same goes for pollen. We could activate pollen the same way during combat, as you see up here. Deploy during encounters to heal 1 HP per pollen. So if we have them in our inventory, we can kind of just use them. But if we want to use the locked in dice, we need to have the beehive. Now, what do we mean by locked in dice? So we're gonna start rolling some dice here and I'll explain that a little bit more. But before we can roll our dice, we need to decide how many we're gonna roll. We have to spend our HP to roll our action dice. So this is where the resource management comes in. We We know that we have a recoup of 4, so at the very end of the round, we're going to get 4 HP back. So you think it's always going to be smart to just do 4 HP, because you always have to have 1 HP, right? You always do. So you think it might be just smart to do 4 HP every time, roll 4 dice, because you're going to get 4 of that back at the end of the round. But what if this nibbler manages to do more than 4 damage to us? Because it's going to take out our armor first, and then if we only have 1 HP left, we're dead, right? We have to always have 1 HP pretty much all the time. So it's a risk that you're going to take. Now, the fact that in this round, this nibbler can only do a total of 3 damage if it hits a nat 20, I say that we go on ahead and we do that. But for the future rounds, you got to think. You got to manage your resources well. So we're going to roll all 4 of our dice here, which means we're going to take away all 4 of our HP, leaving us with 3 armor and 1 HP. Now, once we start rolling our dice, this is where things get fun because we can finesse the rolls by locking in the rolls as we roll. So what we're going to do is we're going to roll all 4 of these. We want to deal 7 damage in total, which isn't going to happen this round. I think at maximum we can do 4. I think that's probably our maximum amount of damage. So we're going to roll all of our dice here. So we got 2 sickles, a bee, and a pollen. One other thing to remember, also kind of important. On this 6-sided dice, there are 2 sickles. So sickles are more likely to come up on the dice roll, okay? You've got 1 bee, 1 hive, 1 pollen, and 2 sickles in a blank spot. That's what is on this dice. So sickles are more likely to come up. So whenever you're rolling your dice, you're going to want those sickles because that's how you deal damage. But sometimes it's smart to lock in the bees or the pollen first whenever you're rolling your dice. What do I mean by lock in? Sorry, I went over a little bit. Every time you roll all 4 of our dice, we're going to lock in our bee here, and then we're going to roll again. All right. Now, once again, we got 2 sickles. We got a hive. All right. So we want that hive so we can activate that bee. That's what we want. So we're going to lock in that hive, and then we roll again. And that's the way it goes. You're going to lock in a roll, lock in that sickle, and then we roll again. Oh, we got a blank one that time. That sucks. So we almost got exactly what we wanted, but not exactly. Now that we have all of our rolls locked in, we're going to go ahead and activate our 1B token on our successful attack with the sickle, right? So in total now, we're dealing 3 whole damage to this little needlegrass nibbler, and we're leaving us with only 1 pollen. So we're locking in our rolls, we're finessing. That's how that works. Simple enough? I hope so. Now I'm going to mark his damage just by putting 3 little black tokens on him, just for fun, just so I remember. And then that bee is gone, so we're going to go ahead and put it back over here. Now it is the Needlegrass Nibbler's turn. We're going to use the black dice for our Needlegrass Nibbler, and we're going to roll our d20. He does 1 attack. He has no ferocity, and hopefully we don't get a 20. We got a 6. Okay, that's perfect for us. So we see down here at the bottom, it's 6 to 16. He does 1 single damage. So he's going to deal 1 damage to our armor, taking that away. Now we're at the end of the round. Everyone has participated in the action and we get to recoup, and we're going to be recouping 4 HP. And that's it, right? That's a whole round in a nutshell, pretty much. Once we get into allies, it becomes a little bit more crazy because they have their own sets of dice and their own resources that you have to manage, all right? But that's pretty much combat in a nutshell. If you came here just trying to figure out combat, at this point, this is where if I was you, don't want to learn about the story, would skip forward. Hey, before you go, do you want a dog tax? Do you want to see one? Do you want a dog? For watching it at this point of this video, you get 1 whole dog tax, okay? Come here, me. Here you go. This is your dog tax. He's wearing him's little bow tie today. He's got a little bow tie and his little necklace. He's very cute. This is Cheese. And he's good. He loves to roll for treats. Oh no, you're saying it's over. There you go. He's a good boy. Yes. Say bye-bye to the people, Beezer. Yes. 1 whole dog tax. Thanks for watching the video. We appreciate you. All right. He just got a bath today, so he's shedding. Okay, let's move on to the second part of the round. Our guy has 4 HP left. We have to do 4 more damage. For those of you guys who actually want to hang out with me and finish the video, this is where we're going to get fun, all right? We're going to chill out. So let's do it. And truthfully, I really hope that I'm showcasing the rules right. I really do. But I want to push home that this is a solo/2-player game. So as long as you're having fun with the game, play it however you want, all right? Truthfully, honestly, because that's the way the games work, okay? You could fudge the rules if you want to. And this is just the way that I'm going to play, you know? And hopefully I'm doing it right. Fingers crossed. Who knows? I'm just one guy. Okay, we've got 4 HP. We got to take this dude out. So I say we do the same thing we did last time. The only issue is that if he hits that nat 20, we're dead. But we're going to do the same thing we did last time. We're going to remove 4 HP. We're going to roll 4 of our dice. This time, though, I actually kind of want to do an extra round. I want to save up some bees because we're going to get into another encounter later on. So I want to get some bees and some pollen into our inventory, right? So we can do the things. Okay, so hopefully we'll get 2 sickles and 2 bees. We can deal 2 damage to this dude, and then we can put 2 bees in our inventory. That is our goal for this round, all right? We got 2 sickles and 2 pollen. Not what we want. So let's go ahead and save one of the sickles just in case. And We got 2 more sickles and a blank. That's not very good. That's not what you want. Okay, come on now. Be good to Daddy Turk. Oh, we got a hive and a blank. Okay, so we're gonna hive it, I guess. But if we get that bee, I think I might just... We got the bee, so that's good. But I don't even want to deploy. We don't have to, all right? We don't have to deploy. So we're just going to save this bee, and we're gonna deal 2 damage to this dude, bringing him up to 5. Because I want the bees in our inventory for future encounters, all right? Cool, so now we're gonna deal 2 more damage to him, which I'm going to keep track of, which actually I could just keep track with a dice. That's fine. We'll go up to 5 here. We've dealt 5 damage. This is Magic the Gathering all of a sudden. All right, now it's the Nibbler's turn. They're going to try to attack us. No ferocity. That's a 5, which means they do 0 damage. Sweet. Honestly, awesome. Let's do our recoup where we get 4 HP back, and then we're going to spend our 4 HP once again, moving it out, and we're going to roll 4 of our dice, all right? Hopefully same goal. They have 2 HP left. We only got to deal 2 damage, and then I want to get something in our inventory for future battles, all right? We've got 1 sickle, 1 bee, but we're going to save the bee for inventory, because again, sickles are more likely to come up on the dice, all right? We didn't get any, but we did get bees, so let's go ahead and put the bee there. All right, come on, give me a sickle now. Don't make me a liar. Don't make me a liar. Let's get it. Sweet, we got one. All right, thank goodness. Now we just need 1 more. That's a blank. Dang. Okay, so he's going up to 6 now. He's got 1 HP left, but we get to put another bee in our inventory. We get to put 2 in our inventory. This is important stuff. And it's also important to note that we can only store 4 of each, all right? That's what our maximum storage is. Okay, now it's his turn, Mr. Nibbler. Do not hit that nat 20, please. That is an 8, so he's going to go ahead and deal 1 damage to us. He's taking away our 1 armor. That's fine. All right, now things are getting risky. Okay, because odds are he can get that 2 damage. So I say we just spend 3 HP to make sure we stay alive, and we'll go on ahead and roll 3 dice. All we need is 1 sickle and we win. We've got 3 of them here. Okay, but let's see what else we can put in our storage. That's 2 more sickles. Are you serious? We have to lock it in. So we're gonna lock in that sickle. We get another pollen. Cool. All right, so we kill the Nibbler, finally. We got our inventory stacked up, way better and way smarter than what I did the first time I played this. Okay, now it's time to recoup. After an encounter is over, you get your armor back, okay? And the Nibbler is dealt with, so we're gonna go on ahead and put them back in the wildlife deck over here at the bottom. And now we're back into story, baby. All is well. We're moving along. Heck yeah. Okay, now that that's done, we're gonna reveal card number 5. So we're skipping 4. I'm going to put it over here, and we're going to 5. The Mustached Man. Yes, here we are. I like the Mustached Man. Morning. A man says on horseback with distractingly impressive mustache drawls. Hello. Yes, it is I. My mustache isn't as long as it once was, but those of you guys who've been watching the channel for more than a year know that your man used to have a very fine mustache. Okay, moving on. He spits on one of the hives and awaits my response. Annoyed, I say nothing, and he continues. Is a conundrum, Seacrest and all. Everyone gone missing, and the town's been left in ruins. You felt the earth shake last night, yeah? He slides off his horse and lays a hand on his blunderbuss. Tossed over the back of the horse is a rolled-up blanket, and if I'm not mistaken, 2 small feet stick out of the end. I remain silent, and he continues. A tower, straight from hell, no doubt. Came out the ground in the town square. Heck of a thing. Hard to believe stories from a man with fingers on his shooting iron. Fine establishment you got here, he boasts, ignoring my doubtful sentiments. Now, we have choices, okay? We can end this song and dance. I think that means we might fight him or something like that. I don't actually know, because I didn't take that option last time. Or we can see where this goes, and I want to see where this goes, because I want to know more about this Mustache Man. So we're actually skipping card 6, and we're going to 7. And we got cool art right there of our character and this Mustached Man. The stranger moves forward a few paces. Give it here, that fancy belt of yours. Bit early in the day for that, don't you think? Not for a lashing, smart ass. Looks like you've got yourself a fine weapon strapped to your hips. Why don't you use that instead? I questioned, pointing at his pistol. Bah, it's a hassle to reload. I'll save it till it's needed. My belt's staying put. Trust me, it's needed. As the Mustached Man draws his weapon, something cracks him upside the noggin before he can even fire. He falls to the ground in a heap. A small boomerang whistles through the air and into a young girl's hand. She takes a quick look around. What an idiot. Guy didn't even disarm me, the girl says. Then we have card number 8. Question the girl. Filthy duster. And we have a wildlife paw up here again, which means we're going to have to fight another nibbler, right? That's what that means. Okay, I assume you're the one who is wrapped up tight in that horse, I ask. Yeah, and you'd better not be the one who put me there. I figured it was him, filthy duster. The girl glares at the stranger. He's the one. Now, why don't you keep your eye on our friend here while I search him for more arms? The girl lifts her boomerang up, ready to strike. I pry the blunderbuss slowly out of his hand. The stranger's eyes flutter. I ease back a step, gun leveled at him, and he begins to stir. That shot was packed 6 months ago. Hope it fires, the stranger warns. He rolls over, groaning, and props himself up, lumps swelling on his melon. So we can question him or no more talk, and I'm assuming we can just fire this gun and just take him out. But I kind of want to question this guy, so we're going to go to number 9. I think you're full of shit, but like yourself, I'll refrain from shooting till it's needed. I relax my grip and lower the horned pistol. I try to collect my thoughts. What were your intentions with that girl? Can't say they seem honorable, if I'm speaking plain. She'd been knocked out, snuffed like a candle, just after the quake, lying there. I stumbled on her while I was making my escape, couldn't rouse her, so I put her on the back of my horse. And rolled her up in a blanket? I questioned. Girl wasn't lucid. Had I not done that, she'd have fallen off. Next time I pass out, leave me to fend for myself, the girl interjects. Where the hell am I anyways? Orchard Valley, day or two, ride west to Seacrest. See, maybe this isn't a bad guy. He was just saving the girl. So now we have maybe I got this guy wrong, or nah, let's put him down. Put him down, magic. Okay, we're going to say we got this guy wrong. We're going to go to 10, which is the next card. On the hook. Look, I don't know what happened to you guys back in Seacrest, but I don't think killing each other is going to help much. Agreed? You're letting this guy off the hook? I was wrapped up like old bread, like a snack, she whines. Had it not been for me, no telling what would have happened to you. Don't let my charming, irresistible, chiseled features fool ya. I ain't half bad. I'm meaning to gather up a party and head back to town and find out what happened. You buying this? Why don't you just stay there then? The girl's losing patience. We had a rough start, I'll admit, but you have my shooter. Oh, this is him talking. I'm trying to do voices, but when there's 3 people. We had a rough start, I'll admit, but you got my shooter. Put a hole in my head if you like. If it fires, I add. It'll fire, he assures me. So I don't trust him, or let's not be rash. This is a really cool character introduction, if I might say, as well. It's kind of fun to actually get attached to these characters through this interaction. It's really, really fun. So obviously we're going to do let's not be rash. We're going to go to card 13. Skipping 11 and 12. That's crazy. All right, card 13. Come a knockin'. Oh, and we forgot to do our Nibbler battle with the filthy duster because we have the wildlife symbol right up here at the top. Dang, I totally forgot about that. It's fine. Let's go on ahead and just move on. We have exampled the combat well enough, but if it happens again, we're going to actually pull the wildlife card. I totally forgot about that. It's okay. It was going to just be another minor needler nibbler anyway, so it was going to be the same exact combat kind of repeated that we just did, but we would have had our bees to actually be able to boost us up, so it would have went back by faster. So just remember that, okay? Now we're on to card 13. Come a knockin'. I show them in. Situation's cooked for now, but I've still got questions rattling in my head. You alone, Mr. Mustache? I need you to be honest, if that's even possible after kidnapping a girl and a mouthful of threats. So we're all past that. People make mistakes. I'm alone. Name's Dunstan, Seacrest stable master and proprietor of the Roost Room, the finest and discreet pleasures. I'll make all this up to you, whatever you fancy, he says with a grin. I ignore his offer. I'm Finian. You're welcome here if you keep your guns in your pants and your hands to yourself. Fiddle that mustache if you need something to do. And I'm Helvig. Introductions are done. Now we can threaten each other by name, she says. Before anyone can mouth off again, damned if there isn't another knock at the door. Pull Dunstan and Helvig from the ally deck. From this point forward, whenever the paw icon is present, pull from the full wildlife deck. Remove the minor Nibbler from the wildlife deck and then shuffle. Cool, so now we get to do more stuff. And after I pulled these guys and did a couple other cards, this is where my first playthrough kind of ended, all right? Just know that. But let's go to our allies. We played our cards right, so we got both of them. We get Dunstan and Helvig. Look, Helvig's very cool art right here on the card. Helvig Hollowpot, pretty sick. She's got 5 health and 4 defense. And again, they use the red dice, so as we can see down here, she has her accuracies, HP spent, which we know. Her recoup is also 4, and then they have their combinations here. So 1 damage, 2 damage, 3 damage, 3 or debuff, right? So each one of their dice kind of do similar stuff where you got to roll on each one of these red ones right here to kind of make sense of what is what. We'll go over it in the book in a second. But first, let's lay them out on the table and let's get their HPs and stuff going. Oh, but first, their abilities. Vex. She has debuff. -3 ferocity on one enemy attack roll once per roll. And she has slow, which is also a debuff. Reduce a target's attacks by 1 this turn. Attacks can't be reduced by more than 1 or below 1. Very cool. So she is our debuffer. Then we have Dunstan Briar, which has 3 armor with a little asterisk next to it, and he has 6 HP. So he has the same, but he has repair over here. He can repair any target +1 AP per dot. Dunstan may temporarily exceed his AP limit during his turn. Excess AP is lost after that round. Miss. If his turn ends with any blank rolls, that attack deals -1 damage. Ooh, that's tough. Okay, let's get their HP going. But repair is such a cool ability, like legit. And what I'm gonna do to save space here is we're actually gonna put them right on top of their cards. And that glare from that light sucks on these glossy cards. And I know it too. I always experience it when I play games like this. And I don't know how to fix it, so I'm kind of just dealt. Okay, here we go. She's got 4 defense and 5 HP. And this dude's got 6 HP, dude. That is a lot. He's kind of a tank. Okay, and here are our allies' dice right here. They roll these red ones. Now, let's go to our wildlife cards. Let's pull them all out here now, finally, because we're going to be randomly pulling from them. So make sure we got them all. We do. We just officially are going to take out the Minor Neebler. So I'm actually going to put it underneath this card here. And we're going to scoot all these over to help with that glare a little bit. I enjoyed these games a lot because I like all the little stuff, you know? Little stuff you can touch and play with and stuff like that. I enjoy them a lot. Okay, we've got them all out. Now, let's go over here to our ally actions just to double check because I haven't actually played this part yet. Let's check it out. Every ally brings something different to a fight. Understanding the role is key to survival. Yes. After all characters and enemies have taken their turns, the round ends with recoup phase. We know that. Oh, so these are all supposed to be different bullseye points. That's actually kind of fun. But they follow the same turn structure as Finian, which is good, makes it easy. And we have different bullseye combinations. So we have the black one, we have the half black, half white, etc. Right? Different bullseye combinations. I'm also learning right now that you can finesse more than 1 dice. Are you serious? You must lock in at least 1 or more results. So I was only doing 1. I was making it way hard on myself that first combat. I did not know. Hey, you live and you learn. Am I right? More than 1 dice. I thought it could only be 1. It could have been more. Wow. Okay. Oh, also, one other thing I did forget was each enemy has a reward in the top left right here, as you can see. So we actually get whatever the heck that is, a little piece of meat as a little token to go in our inventory. So I don't remember what it does, but we'll put it in our inventory. Ah, okay, so the meat and pelts are for trading whenever you go to trading posts. Fair enough. Okay, that's all I was looking for. Okay, we're all set up now. It's time to move to card 21. Holy crap. I'm already socially spent. We're on card 14. We're going to 21. That's crazy. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Wow. 21. Here we are. Make yourself at home. I crack open the door. Standing there's a buxom woman with pale skin and bright red hair, dressed more for temptation than travel. She's mighty distracting. And this is all new for me, by the way, everybody. This is a new card. A few bees drift around her shoulders, some along her neck. She don't flinch. She just lets them crawl. Pardon the intrusion, she says, her voice so smooth and precise. Would you be so kind as to let me in? The sun is rather insistent. Takes some restraint not to answer yes straight off. From Seacrest, I gather. Indeed, though I wasn't there last night during the incident, if that's your meeting, she smiles. Have you heard about it? The Spire? I should prefer not to go back alone. I glance past her and spot an ornate carriage and 2 groomed stallions at the front. We have now hold on a minute or I'll let her in. Seems too good to be true. What the heck is some royal princess looking motherfucker out here checking on the bee people? You know what I mean? Seems too good to be true to me. Maybe I'm just not very trusting. But what in heck? So let's do now hold on a minute. Instead of just letting her in straight off. Hussey's orders. Can't you get in your wagon for some shade? It's more of a city carriage reserved for the affluent and it's currently occupied, she says with airy dismissal as though the matter is both obvious and unworthy of further discussion. The skies are still flush with from the eclipse and my skin is too sensitive for this ungodly light. May I? She steps forward, ignoring me. Just let the hussy in, Halvig is the girl. Just let the hussy in, Halvig groans. Yeah, please do, a stimulated Dunstan adds. I move aside and the woman strolls in, claiming a seat by the fire like she owns the place. We should leave midday. What makes you think we're doing that? She don't bother answering, just presses on. I'll need your full cooperation. It is vital that all capable individuals return to investigate this calamity for Seacrest's sake. We jaw over the matter for a good while, and I find myself grudgingly swayed to go. Seacrest might need all the help it can get. Go to 24. I hate traveling. So this princess lady already know what the heck's going on. She must have heard our conversations or something. Just intruding, right? Just walking in on us. That's not fair. Refreshing reception. Oh wait, we're supposed to go to 24. That's 23. Sorry. 24. Oh, it's a black card. Why is 24 a black card? Why is that? I packed all the supplies on the back of the carriage and rigged up a spot for my hive. Oh, so we are leaving now. Before we set out, I dug up one of my old rifles and gave it to Dunstan. His battered single-shot shooter and ladies' dueling piece weren't going to cut it if we got into trouble. He thanked me in his own way, promising me he wouldn't shoot me with it. When I reached for the carriage door, I was told it was full, with no room in the cabin. We were left sitting shoulder to shoulder on the driver's seat. Pull Morrowind from the alley deck. If you have milestone card number 6, pull card 73. We do not have milestone card number 6. We missed something. So I'm talking about multiple playthroughs here. After that is resolved, continue below. So we need to pull Morrowind, and then we actually have a wildlife encounter before we even get into this thing. So we have another character already that we get to add to the party. Morrowind Whitelock. Oh man, this art is cool. She's coming. She's definitely a princess in a crop top. My goodness. Morrowind Whitelock. This art is so cool. She has 6 health and 0 defense, but there's an asterisk next to it. She only recoups 3. Her abilities are Seduce, where she can steal 1 AP per dot from an enemy. Only Morrowind may use it. Armor Cache. Morrowind cannot exceed 3 AP. Suck. If Morrowind inflicts damage on a turn, she gains 1 HP per turn. Forsaken. Morrowind cannot use bees or pollen. Okay, because also we can activate our bees and our pollen on our allies' turns, right? So after we go, we can use them on their successful attacks, and we can actually use them to heal them as well. Interesting. Morrowind. She has 6 HP. Thankfully, she has 6, and she takes HP from enemies. So every hit she does. So if we spend her HP to roll dice, and then she hits with said dice, she gets that HP back. Oh, she gets 1 HP back per turn, so she can get 1 back. Okay. Very, very interesting, Mr. Boss. Put it right there. Does this actually work? Yeah, that works better. It won't be all glared up over here. There we go. And we'll put our guy there. Yeah, that's way better. I think I found a new way to do cards on camera. I like this. Okay, now we have a wildlife encounter that we must get to. So we're going to shuffle, and then I think we're going to do a full example of combat with everybody. So this is going to be fun. Let's do it. Shuffling, 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 shuffling. Oh, I forgot that we have this over here. Okay, pull a wildlife card. Do right from the top. What in heck? This is a Dustback. It's got 8 HP and 7 defense. It attacks 3 times. It has 3 ferocity, and I also didn't mention in the last one, but they will retreat after a certain amount of rounds, which I don't actually think that I think I did 3 rounds with the Nibbler, so I think we're okay on that. But they retreat after 3 rounds. They also deal stun and poison. So stun. While stunned, the ally cannot attack next turn. Stun ends after following. Poisoned. While poisoned, the ally suffers -1 recoup. Whatever HP they finish this encounter with is the HP they start the next encounter with. Poison ends after the encounter. That's very confusing, but makes sense. Art on that is sick, though. The snake coming out of the skull. You serious? It's freaking badass. Okay, let's fight this thing. All right, 7 AP. It doesn't get AP back, which is important. Lock in more than 1. Interesting. It can do 3 whole damage. So we're going to do the same thing we did last time. We're going to roll 4 of our hive dice here. Let's do all 4. And I'm not even going to activate our bees or pollen yet. We'll see. Let's roll our dice first. Let's roll our dice first. Okay, we can lock in more than 1, which is crazy. So let's go ahead and lock in the hive and the sickle. Jeez. Roll again. We got another sickle. We want a bee. Give your boy a bee. Come on. Let's do it. How many times am I going to say that? Ah, it's a pollen. Okay. So we're going to activate the pollen, which means we could heal ourselves for 1. I guess that's good. But we're going to deal 2 damage to this dude. I'm going to do it just like I was doing it before. He has a total of 7 plus 8 is 15 HP. So we deal 2 damage, leaving him at 13 left. That's what we're going to do. Okay. That's a lot, man. Okay. Do I want to activate any of our bees to deal an additional damage? Maybe we'll do 1. Let's do 1. We'll activate 1 bee on our successful attack. We'll deal 1 extra damage. Wishing this was a turn down dice all of a sudden. Okay, leaving him at 12. Now we have our allies. We get to make ally rolls finally. Exciting stuff. Let's start with Halvig. Halvig Hollow Spot. And Halvig has 5 HP and 4 defense. So we can kind of just do the same thing we did with us. We'll spend all 4 of these here because they recoup 4 as well. So we're going to roll 4 dice. And I want to use her debuff because this dude does have a 3 ferocity. And if we can get Vex, which is just 1 dot, we can make one of its attacks have -3 ferocity. So let's see here. Let's just roll. We've got a circle, these 2 circles. These are fun dice, dude. Oh, it's kind of tricky because if we want to get a circle and a dot, because we could do 3 damage with a circle and a dot, but with just a circle by itself, we do nothing. So with these 2 here, we're dealing 2 damage, but we really want to get that debuff. If I could do 2 damage and do a debuff, that would be great. And that's kind of the goal here. So let's go ahead and re-roll. We have our 2 damage, that's fine. We could do an additional 3 for a total of 5, or we can re-roll. Yo, 5 is so much damage. We could do more than 1 attack, right? We could do multiple combinations that just has to go all towards 1 enemy, right? Yeah, it all just has to go into 1 enemy. You can't split damage between enemies. That's crazy. So 5 damage coming from Halvig with her boomerang, hitting the snake right in the noggin, and it comes back around, gets it again. 5 damage, dude. That's a lot, dude. But we don't get the debuff, but that's okay. That's totally fine. And I guess that's it. We could just do the debuff, or we could do the 3 damage. You know what I mean? And so there's a give and take here. That resource management is it's tough. All right, let's do Dunstan Briar. So he has 6 HP, so we could do a similar thing, but this time we can do 5 dice instead. He's got repair, so we can give people AP, but no one has taken any. But if we roll 5 dice and we get any misses, he actually gets -1 damage. So it's kind of a risk to roll that extra dice, but he only recoups 4 as well. He doesn't recoup 5. So at the end of the round, he wouldn't have it. So it's do it now or do it later. So it's resource management, dude. I'm telling you, this is wild. Okay, let's just do the 4. Let's just do the 4 because I don't want to risk dealing 1 less damage and him not get that back. Okay. And if we can repair, we can give an AP to Morwen if we have to. He can do up to 4 damage, dude. That's crazy. Okay, what of this do we want to keep? We don't want to keep that blank one, that's for sure. Let's keep the circle. Should we keep the circle? It's tough. I want to keep one of them for sure. Yeah, let's keep the circle. All right. Roll again. Ooh. He can't even do anything with those 2. He doesn't have a combo for these 2 together. Most of the guys do. I hope you guys can see this little text on here. If you're watching on your phone, might be a little tough. All right. We're going to go ahead and re-roll. We have nothing so far. Okay, we got something. We could put these 2 together for him to deal 2 damage. Now, if we can get a dot, we're set. Come on. Give Turkey the dot. We want it. Come on. Oh, it's another circle. Sad. So those are useless. At least they're not minus damage. That's good. So he's going to deal 2 damage to this dude, putting him down to 5. All right, we've got Morolin last, and you can only have up to 3 allies with you at a time, just so you know. It looks like there is another ally card, and I bet there's going to be more that are going to release later. Okay, so if we're going to use any bees, now would be the time to do so. We could also heal people. Now would be the time to do so. Okay, she has 6 HP. She only recoups 3, dude. That's not a lot, but her attacks are just wild. She could get 1 HP back right away. So even though she only recoups 3, we could still do the 4. And she could also take AP from the enemy. But I'm pretty sure we've already taken away all their AP, so that's useless. Her seduce is useless for it. Maybe next time we use her first to take away the AP. Could be smart. Okay, we're gonna attack with 4. Same as same, because at 2 we should be fine. And honestly, you should also know that when allies die, as long as 1 ally is alive at the end of the encounter, everyone refreshes and you're fine. But if all 4 of them die, then it's over, right? But this is just a snake. We're doing okay. But he has 3 whole attacks, so it's tough. Okay, we're gonna roll 4. Here we go. Whoops. What do we got? She could potentially do 1 damage. Oh, there's half circles too. There's full circles and there's half circles. That's crazy. I didn't realize that. Okay. I mean, there's bullseye halves and there's straight up halves. So that's half a bullseye and that's just half a circle. Wow. So what do we want to do? She has to at least deal 1 damage. She'll get 1 back. And we could send out 2 bees for a total of 3. So we could save this for her 1 damage and then re-roll these 2. Or we could just reroll the 1 and hope for the dot. I think that's what we do, because then we could deal a total of 4 damage and she'll end it. This guy won't even get a chance to attack. And that is a dot, which means this dude isn't even going to get a chance. And we don't even have to spend our Bs because that is 1, 2, 3. Oh, actually, we do have to spend 1 B. 1 whole B to take him out. Doesn't even get a chance to attack. You know, we kind of got, I feel like we kind of got a little lucky here. We actually get, from our rewards, we get 1 B back here. So we don't even need to put that away. We'll put this one away. And then we also earned 1 little chicken leg, and this guy has been destroyed. Now we're into our recoup phase. Thank goodness he didn't get a chance to attack. I guess before we end, do we need to spend any? Well, everyone's gonna get, it's at the end. Everyone's gonna get everything back, just fine. No one was poisoned. You get 4, you get 4, you get 4, and you get 4. Okay, whoops. We did it, everybody. Exciting. And they go back into the wildlife deck. Okay, I'm not done just yet. I'm almost out of time, but I'm not done just yet. So we packed all the supplies. We have to hang out outside, which is annoying, but we can try and relax, or we can continue conversing with everybody. I think it's been enough conversation. Let's just relax, you know? Hang out, look at the scenery. We've had enough. 26. This is the same artwork. Oh, sorry. 26 is continue conversating. 25 is what we want. Okay. After an hour down the trail, and I already can't stand being packed this close together. Morwen is up against my left side, making it impossible to ignore her plump bosom, which sways with every jolt of the carriage, so I fix my eyes on the scenery instead. Dunstan, however, has no such restraint. When things are back to normal, you, my dear, will be my Madame of the Roost. Together we'll provide all the pleasures Seacrest desperately needs. Is that so? She says, unfazed. Halvag adjusts the umbrella. My skin can't take this ungodly light. And Halvag groans and minds her barkin. Pull a trail card. Afterwards, continue below. A trail card? We have row. These all say row on them. And I think these are for what is called a waterfall, which we haven't even touched on in this video. Trail cards. Haha, I found him. Okay, there's a few. Pull a trail card, just randomly. Okay. Trail card. Oh no, is that a nibbler? The road ahead dips into a patch of uneven earth, small holes pockmarking the path in every direction. Halvag leans forward, frowning. What are those? Needlegrass nibblers burst from their barrows, teeth gnashing and noses twitching. Dunstan spits out the side. Damn pasture vermin. Damn pasture vermin. I mean, little bastards if they swarm. This activity is optional. Roll 1d20. On a 1 through 10, it's a 3, 11 through 20 is a 2. The result of 3 or 2 is the number of needlegrass nibblers you will fight. Locate 3 nibblers in the wildlife deck, shuffle them, pull that number, fight them all at once. If you defeat at least 1 nibbler, retrieve milestone 12 after the encounter is over. Beware, if all allies are defeated, the adventure is over. If you survive, return to your previous story card. These nibblers, dude, so like that one single snake did 3 attacks, and I'm just trying to stop it, right? But if we have 3 nibblers, and each nibbler is going to do 3 attacks. That is 9 attacks at a maximum of, what was it, 3 damage? I don't remember. I think it could have been 5. I don't even remember what it was. I know the little one did a maximum of 3. I think the other one might do 5. So potentially could do 40 damage in one single turn if we get all nat 20s on the nibblers, right? Which I don't think would happen. Is that even right math? 5 times 9? Yeah, 40. So it's tough. That is a tough call. And these are the tough calls that you're going to be making in this game because we can get milestone 12. And just like on this card, it says if you have milestone card 5, we get to go to 27. If we don't, we have to go to 28, which we don't have milestone 12 because we missed something somewhere. So that's our trail card that we could potentially come back to. This is it. This is our current setup, all right? And this is where I'm going to leave it. If you guys want me to see me do more, all right, of this game, leave a like on video, okay? Like goal 200. If we hit that, I'll come back. I will play this whole story through to its end, all right? But you gotta leave a like on the video. For now, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this game seems interesting to you or fascinating. And if you're learning to play, I hope I helped. Thank you so much for watching, all right? I'm gonna go do the review section now. Yes! But before I do, once again, big thank you to Favreau for sending this bad boy over to me. All right, thank you guys. Spires End Volume 2. It's pretty sick. I really enjoyed 1 and I'm enjoying 2 so far. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you guys want it, I do want to say, anybody watching, down in the description, there will be links just for your convenience to go over there and get it wherever you might be able to find it. And I just really enjoyed this. So thank you so much for watching. My friends, take a seat on the couch and roll for initiative by subscribing, or at least until you find yourselves down in a ditch in a cart being chased by little nibblers yourselves. Roll on that, weirdos, and I'll see you next time. Cheers, friends.